I'm gonna tell you about this young lady. She was 19 years old. She became a two-time felon because she had a boyfriend. He caught a couple charges, threw them all on her. 2 years later, she had a son. 18 months later, she had a daughter. So now she's 21 years old, 2 babies under the age of 2, and she's a two-time felon. What is she gonna do with her life? What opportunities are available for her because she is a single mother and she's a felon? So she was home with her son, she was home with her baby, and she was trying to figure out what to do. And one person from Community Action Council approached her and said, you can put your kids in daycare for free. Huh? Free? Hold on, let me get the diaper bags, let me get their bottles, let me go ahead and get their stuff together. This girl said, I'm gonna take this opportunity with Community Action Council, put my babies in daycare. Well, what she didn't know is if you use the daycare services, you also can use the welfare services. So you telling me I can get a check and have free daycare for my babies? Sign me up. So to get this check, they said, you're gonna have to get a job. Wait. She didn't tell y'all, she's a two-time felon. She tried to get a job. Every time she goes into a job interview, she does very well. They run a background, they say, ma'am, you know, we really want you here, but you are a felon. We cannot have you in our facility. So she told them, I can't get a job. I've tried to get a job. I've done everything that I can. I can't get a job that will be worth my time away from my children because you're gonna pay me $7, at the time it was $7.50 an hour. You're gonna pay me that for 20 hours a week, and it's not enough to sustain what I need for my children, my bills, my rent, everything like that. The worker was like, no, trust me. Go through this program. I can make sure you're successful. So she said, fine. So she goes through the program. She gets signed up for CTE, which at the time was the Center of Training and Employment. So they gave her further opportunities to get employed. They gave her skills that she needed to be successful. She graduated through CTE. At this time now, she's 26 years old. It was 7 years from when she caught her first 2 felonies. Now she can get her record expunged. She got a record expunged. Guess what? Now she can get a really good job. So she starts applying for better jobs. She moves up in the world. She moves up to the corporate sector. She becomes the executive assistant to the vice president of global services operations at Lexmark International. She's making big money. She's in there negotiating contracts with people. She's telling people what to do. They have no idea she's a two-time felon. They have no idea she used to run the streets. No idea she used to sell drugs. None of this. None of that mattered. She worked hard. So one day she was negotiating an $80 million contract. She's looking at this like, I only make $18 an hour. That's $80 million. If I can negotiate an $80 million contract, what can I do for myself? So she says, you know what? I'm gonna write my story. I'm gonna write a book. I'm sure there's somebody that wants to hear about my story. She starts a publishing house. She hooks up with a publisher in Louisville. They show her how to have her own publishing house. She publishes her first book, gets a deal with Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble picks up her book. She has 12 book signings in 2 cities in 2 years, sells 2,000 copies of her book, all of it independent by herself. She was like, you know, it's cool being inspirational. I love telling people about my story, but I want to help people like me. I want to help people get jobs because I know what it feels like for them to look you in your face and say you're a felon, so you don't deserve a chance. So from the publishing house, she opens a staffing agency. How y'all doing? My name is VaShaun Mosby. That is my story. So I have a staffing agency based out of Lexington and Louisville, Kentucky. I focus on hiring young single mothers and felons. I get it. I was a young single mother. I was a felon. I was in the court systems. I was in the streets. I know it all. But the other side of that, I was in corporate America. I know where the real money is. They don't have to know you're a felon. They don't have to know you made a mistake. I'm not my mistake. If I walked in today like this, would you even think that? Mm-mm. I tell people my story on purpose. Because I come in, oh yeah, we can do this contract. Y'all gonna give me this much money. We're gonna do this. But guess what? 19 years ago, I was a 2-time felon. Oh. Now, do you feel different? Why? I can do the job. I'm proven. I carry my backpack with me, so I got receipts. So I like to show people what I do. Like, y'all, I'm not making this up. I have all the skills. So what does being a felon have to do with anything? What does making mistakes have to do with anything? You don't have to be your mistake. You don't have to walk around with this cloud over your head. I did this. Even when people remind me, I tell them, yeah, VaShaun, you in the streets, you used to sell dope. I did. Well, made a lot of money. But my boyfriend got hemmed up